We staan hier in het stadion van Fortuna Sittard met de technische manager, Branco. Can you introduce yourself?
Well, yes, I can introduce myself, but first of all, thank you for inviting me for the interview. As I said before the camera was on, I apologize that I cannot do it in Dutch still, but I think it's the good thing about the Netherlands is that everybody speaks really good English and it makes it harder for me to learn. Regarding myself, as I said, I've been now in Fortuna in October. It will be 24 months, so 2 years. It will be my third season, my second full season. I come from a family that has been in the business of football regarding sport directors, and my father was president owner of a club for a few years, and that's how very quickly to explain the supporters, and as I gave in previous interviews, that's the reason I became a sport director, a technical director so early, and that I have some experience now at only 34 years of age. So I came to Fortuna in November 22, and that's it. And the story is what it has been until now. I think it's enough.
So you're the youngest technical manager in the whole Dutch Eredivisie?
Probably, I don't know. I don't pay such attention. All I see is that I have 10 years of experience. My first season as pro sport director was 2014-15 in the second level in Portugal. Then I went all the way to the first level, and then I came to Fortuna. So I think to be the youngest or the oldest, I think it's about the experience you have, the background you have, and what you make with your experiences, what you learn from other people, how you adapt, because of course Netherlands is a different country, the Eredivisie is a different competition, and I think I'm trying my best to be as Dutch as I can in the way that I'm here.
But how did you get in contact with Fortuna, or Fortuna in contact with you?
It goes back to 2017, where I was technical director at Academica, and Fortuna bought André Vidigal from us. I was appointed in the early July that season, and I just finished the deal. I didn't have much contact with the people at Fortuna, but somehow I left a good image, a good mark. And later on, when Fortuna was looking for a technical director for their project, they reached me. I made 1 or 2 interviews, and it was quite fast. After 1 or 2 weeks, I got proposed to come to Fortuna with a 3-year contract. So this is my last season for now.
Yeah, football seems to be also a hobby for you, but is it the love of football, for football, that you want to do this job?
I really like what I do. To be honest, when I was younger, when I became 16, 17, 18, and I realized that I didn't have the capacity or the mentality to become a pro football player, I just really fast thought, what can I do, and what do my life experiences have given me that I can be better or faster than the others. And because of the story, as I told you, of my father that was the owner and president of a club for almost 15 years, and my brother that he became also a sport director around 2010, 2011. I never expected, to be honest, to start as a technical director at the age of 24. But it happened in a very difficult situation, and as from then things improved and went well, and I made a name for myself. But I'm eager to learn every day. I like to be close to the players. I like to be close to the coach and support him. I like to be close with everybody in the club. I have a fantastic relationship with Ivo Fennings, the CEO, the owner. So, and I really like Fortuna, to be honest.
And how does a work day looks out for you? You work on a Monday.
I tend not to be, in that sense, like I said, so much Dutch. I like to plan everything day by day. I don't plan with 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because football is very volatile, and you have to be ready to act and improvise. Everything is very organized in Fortuna. My work day normally, if it's outside the transfer window, I come, I settle everything in the office, see if there's anything to solve. Then I go to training. I try to watch training 3-4 times a week at least. Then after lunch, sometimes I sit with the coach. I see what the point where we are. Shall I talk to some players? Does he need some help here or there? But normally I make the planning for the scouting of the week with our scouts, with our technical advisors. We have contact over the phone. We look at what was the weekend. We analyze everything. I sit with Ivo Fennings definitely 2-3 times a day to see also if there's anything that we can cooperate on. So it's really very volatile. Fortuna is not a huge club in terms of people, but it's also not a very small club. So we are quite structured and organized, and we try to do everything better and more every day. So that's what I want to do.
And what about the youth, the academy?
The academy is on Kamal's hands. We trust him a lot. We have normally a monthly meeting, but I have clear in my path and in my idea, as you can see from the pro contracts that I gave to the youth in the last 2 seasons, which were much more than in the past, that I try every year to bring more players, even if maybe the standard is not so, because there's a huge gap in between under 21 or under 19 level or under 18 like last year and the first team. I try that the players from our academy are getting some minutes, are getting some competition with the first team, so that the level becomes closer and closer. So I also look at the academy, but I trust in the job that is also done there.
Yeah, interesting is that in the youth under 14, there's a goalie who is from Genk, Belgium. His name is Prince Logan Bailey, and his father used to be a goalkeeper with Genk, but also Celtic in Scotland.
Yes, that is.
So that's very nice that kid comes and plays
yes,
for Fortuna.
Fortuna is also growing in the academy. Maybe I'm not the right person to speak about the academy, because I like specialists. So I'm a specialist in professional football. Kamal is a specialist in academy. But of course, I always look down. We have also a very good generation that is now under 18. And definitely steps are being made. We know that geographical-wise, it's hard for us sometimes to compete with PSV, Gladbach, Genk. But like you just said, you mentioned Logan, it's one of the things that we are doing well. So we have to choose carefully, and we have to work also on this. And I trust, as I said, that the academy is doing their best in order to attract the best possible players for Fortuna.
And how can you get players interested to play here in Sittard? What can you tell them about maybe the atmosphere, maybe the area to live in?
To be honest, in the beginning, it was actually tougher. So season 22-23 was actually tougher to bring players here, even though maybe at the time there was a bigger investment and a bigger partnership as it's public. But slowly I think we managed to build a club, also with the infrastructures now. The pitches are looking much better, the gyms, the way also Danny Buys was really important in this, the way the owners gave a lot of trust and power of Ivo to take everything into his hands, made my job a lot easier. Of course, there are challenges, it's hard. Sometimes there are things that I don't have the same financial capacity as other clubs, but we try to compensate with other ways, other things. So I can tell you now that Fortuna is now quite a respected club in the Eredivisie. So when people come to the stadium, when people go to the training ground, when people see the facilities that we have, for a club like Fortuna, they are actually positively surprised, as opposed to in the past, that was not the case.
So how do you work together with Danny Buys or with Willy Boeze?
With Danny, with Willy, with Francisco, with Adri, Jeroen, the head of medical, I have a very, very face-to-face, day-to-day connection. I cannot say that I put a structure, we have a weekly meeting, no. For example, today I was with all of them speaking individually about the moment, of what can we do, how can we support this club, and I try to give a lot of support in everybody's job, because I like that everybody has the responsibility to make their own decisions. The owners give me and Ivo responsibility to make some decisions. We give Danny the responsibility to make decisions. Danny gives to his staff. That's how I like. If you don't give the freedom to take decisions, then you cannot ask for the report, you know. So in the same, in your job, if you're not having the freedom to ask the questions, then how can you ask the right questions? So that's the same. I like to ask the right questions after I give the right and the freedom for people to make decisions and work.
You have a big international network.
Yes.
And you speak several languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, French,
Yes.
English.
Yes.
But how difficult is it to get a player from Holland to play here at Fortuna? Because we get a lot of people from Croatia this year, from Austria.
Yes. I think, to be honest, it's just a question of mentality, okay? The Dutch player normally is making a decision in between different clubs in the Eredivisie. So for them, normally what makes the difference is sometimes the money. It's not the project, it's not, because the money is also very similar in, I don't know, maybe PEC, in Heracles, in Fortuna, in Heerenveen. So he makes a decision based normally on money. So that's why it is harder. Normally the foreign player, he looks at the project, he looks at Fortuna in the past. They've developed players, they have sold them. They have developed players that they have gone to a different league for a more lucrative or for a better step. Cases of Noslin, Pandur, Fleming, Duarte even going for free. So they have a more openness and they don't look so much at the financial aspect. And I think that is why we cannot get so many Dutch players. But to be honest, Adewoye is not Dutch but has more than 100 matches in the Eredivisie. Mitchell Dykes, we attracted him last year. He wanted to stay for longer. Siv van Ottele, young player with a lot of experience in the Eredivisie. He chose Fortuna over other clubs. So Matthijs Branderhorst is on loan but also a Dutch goalkeeper. I also try to bring Dutch-speaking players, Dutch-born players, because there's a lot of quality in the Netherlands. But sometimes when you make decisions, you cannot look at the nationality. But in equal circumstances, I will always prefer a Dutch player or a player that speaks Dutch.
It has been a hectic transfer period. A lot of players went. Cordoba, Casillas is a long time injured. Yeah, and Noslin is already in the winter gone. But how can you replace those players?
I have to be honest, I think people have not been fair with Fortuna in the last 2-3 months. Because people are not taking into account that Fortuna has Kai Sirais out, that has Alessio da Cruz out, that has Umaro Embalo out, and people don't take this into consideration. I don't think this is fair from the public, because not even Manchester City, if they have 4 big players out, they have trouble also. And especially Fortuna, there is a good club, it's a stable club, Eredivisie, but we don't have the budget to have 22 players of the same level. And we don't, as you said, even though we're doing good work, we don't have an academy that produces talent consistently every year. So I never said in an interview to any big magazines, TV or something, I never mentioned the situation of Kai, but it's true. Kai will be out for sure until the winter. I never mentioned the situation of Alessio. I don't know if he's back in November or in January. Same with Embalo. So we try to look at the solutions, not at the problems. It is normal that every year a club like Fortuna is changing 10, 12 players. It is normal because some of them are doing well and are being sold. Some of them are becoming free and we don't have capacity to keep them financially. For example, Simon Voet, last year, he was here on loan, he was quite instrumental, and now he's playing Champions League for Slovan Bratislava. So we have to accept this. And I think in life and in work, when you know who you are, and you look at solutions, not at problems, you are much stronger. And Danny, the coach, Danny Buys, he's fantastic at this.
But if you look at where the players went, Pandur went to England, Zion Fleming went to Noslin, now playing in Roma. Isn't that a big advertisement for Fortuna to tell players to come here?
Huge.
We live here in a magnificent surroundings over here.
Now you have also to agree that maybe it's also very tough to play at Fortuna Stadium. I have spoken to a few players of other clubs, big clubs, and they don't like to come here. And this is good.
Yeah.
It means that we create really an atmosphere that is tough for people to play here. And I like this. Yeah. I like that Fortuna is now back to the Fortuna that when I was a kid and I was playing PlayStation and Fortuna was in the cup final and there was Van Bommel and there was Riksen and so this is the Fortuna I remember from when I was small and I used to play in the PlayStation. So this is the Fortuna I want. That's why Will Buzen visited us. That's why Ivo as a CEO, ex-player, and his father. So I don't want to change Fortuna. The owners don't want to change Fortuna. They want to change it keeping the traditionalism. And that's what we want to do. There is a good advertisement, but there are lots of steps to go. I was not so happy after the first 2 wins. I am not also depressive after the last results. We need to keep our way. We have a clear structure, clear organization, and this is where we know where we want to go.
Then you have 3 coaches, Adrie, Danny and Willy Buzen. they also have their connections with the clubs they used to coach or play with. For instance, PSV, young PSV, Willy Boeze used to work there last year. Isn't there any possibilities to get some young players who don't make it to the first team?
We look at everything. KKD, I look all the time. We always try to sign. This year we brought Talaus, that was in Eindhoven. We also speak with big clubs. We had loan of Bujaude. Last year we had a loan of Griffith from AZ. So we try our best within our budget, but also I think people have a misconception. It's not so easy to get a loan player from a big club because also they know what kind of quality they have. So sometimes they prefer to have him on the young, knowing that he can be on the bench and play on the first team, then have him away and then can only have him back after 6 months or one more year. So it's not so easy, even though the connections are there. The experience is here, as you said, Will, Adri, Danny, and myself, everybody in the club, we have a lot of good connections. But it's also important that we have players that belong to Fortuna, that can generate money for Fortuna, and that want to, as you said, embrace this project and have something like Noslin, something like Pandur, the advertisement that now Fortuna not only is a respected club, is a tough club to play against, but that helps people make the step. I myself as a pro, I came to Fortuna to make it better, and I will eventually want to make a step. So it's not a problem.
About generating money, is it also possible that Fortuna can still generate some money about the transfer from Noslin or from Pandur or Zion Fleming?
Fleming, I was not here, so it was before my time. So I cannot really say. Regarding Noslin and Pandur, yes, we kept, of course, a sell-on, and that's it. So we always try to look also in the future.
There were busy weeks for you till
it's part of my job.
But did you get all the players that you wanted to have?
Yes, I can say that we got all the players that wanted to play for Fortuna. I'm not sure if it was Johan Cruyff that said, I think it was him, that if a player has second thoughts about playing for a team, then he doesn't want this player. So I am a little bit the same, and Danny Buys is a little bit the same. Like, we all agree. So all the players that wanted to play for Fortuna and that we thought we needed, they are here. And we were very, very careful choosing the right mentality on bringing players here.
But the scouting for a club like Fortuna, is it any different than the clubs you worked before?
You always have to adapt. Okay, financial matters, social matters, questions of technical matters of the league, most importantly, the coach you have, and every decision affects the next one. If I sign player A, then I have to choose wisely between player B and C. So scouting, it's not just finding the best players. It's about finding the best players for a certain context. It's about choosing the right player for Fortuna. So maybe sometimes what is conceived by the public as 11 great players, they will not work together as a team. We need to find a good Fortuna, a good team, and we have to choose the 11 best players that want to run and give their life for Fortuna. Maybe a top player that doesn't want to be at Fortuna, doesn't want to fight for the symbol of Fortuna, for the badge of Fortuna, it's better that he stays at home.
We have a question from one of the fans who asked, what if you had 1 million euros? Which player would you get then for that?
Maybe I would get 10 players of 100,000, I don't know, but it's really hard to say if 1 million euros who I would sign. As I said to you, I'm very happy with the players I'm here. Maybe if I have 1 million euros, I would renew a contract with a lot of players, with a lot of people in this club that I know that put their life every day for this club.
What are your expectations for this season?
Fortuna has to be realistic. Our expectations is to stay in the league. And once we achieve these 34, 35 points that Danny always talks about, then if we can do more, we will do more. So, as I said, we started well the first 2 matches. We were not so good these last 2 matches, especially last Saturday. But we know where we are going, we know who we are, and we have everything very clear. We will not be in euphoria or depression, and I know our fans are behind us, and I know that they are not anymore in euphoria or depression, because if it was like this, the job of a technical director, of a CEO, is to always be calm in the euphoria moments and calm in the depression moments. And to know that not always is fantastic when you win, everything is okay, and not only everything is lost when you lose. So there is a clear path, there is a clear plan for every player, for every employee, for Danny, as our head coach and the face of our club, and we're going to stick to it. So Fortuna wants to stay in the Eredivisie. This is our aim.
And what are your own ambitions, Americo? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Everybody has a dream. Everybody has an ambition, but my ambition now is to do the best for Fortuna every day, no matter if I'm here 1 day or 10 years more. So I don't know. I've seen players and coaches and sport directors saying, I will stay, and then the next day they go. So, or they have a new club, or they are sacked. Their football is very volatile. But my ambition is that if I stay 1 year, 1 day, or 10 years in Fortuna, that the day I go, everybody knows that I did my best and that Fortuna is better than when I left.
Is there anything else you want to add to it, Americo?
No, I just want to say that I'm happy here. I like the club. The fans are fantastic. They have also developed their mentality with the club. I think they are happy that we are trying to be traditional in some way and going back to these players, as I say all the time, and I mentioned the same names, but definitely these are the ones I remember, Riksen and Van Bommel, guys that are, we say it in Portuguese, that with a knife between their teeth.
Yeah.
This for me is nice, that I can try and create a team with this mentality. So I just want to thank the fans for the support. Sometimes they complain. It's part of it. It's part of our job. It's part of their job. If they don't complain when we lose, it means also they don't love the club. Okay. So all I can say is my ambitions are aligned with the club. My ambitions are aligned with Ivo's, with the owners, and with Danny Buys. And I hope that, as I said, I can be successful here. And when I leave, that people can have respect for what I did at Fortuna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.